Welcome to the Outback. We've gone down under to take a ride on a massive train that travels over 4,300 kilometers across Australia.
A few shrubs, no trees, completely barren.
It's an epic adventure through some of the most scenic and remote areas a train has ever gone. Whoa, it is very steep. Woo!
The 4-day coast-to-coast journey goes across remote farmland
Over your big bath.
and a scorching hot desert known as the Nullarbor Plain.
There's nobody there, anything can happen.
Get ready for the Indian Pacific.
Australia is home to some of the most desolate and harsh landscapes in the world.
This is typical Australian bush out here. Pretty hot, dry and desolate. As we call it, the harshness of the bush, but yeah, it's beautiful.
Train passengers flock from all corners of the globe to experience this sizzling, barren continent in total luxury. It's 6 a.m. at East Perth Station, and a small army of technicians, attendants, and service staff has just 4 hours to get the giant train ready for departure.
The Indian Pacific is massive, almost a kilometer long, and it gets its name from the route that it takes, starting at the Indian Ocean in Perth, traveling all the way to the Pacific Ocean in Sydney.
Terminal manager Anne-Marie.
Evening, Bruce.
He'd prefer K1 because it's in the middle of the train.
Running the operation is 23-year veteran of the rails, train manager Bruce Smith.
From the back of the loco to the back of the train, that's my jurisdiction. I'm in charge of the crew, the guests on board, and making sure everybody's having a really good time.
Hey there, Bruce. Teddy, how are you? So it's a really long train, but how many passengers do we have on board?
We've got 240 passengers today, Teddy.
Wow.
Yep, it's pretty full.
And we're leaving pretty soon, so what's on your plate right now?
A lot of operational issues with the driver, getting the signal to get going, guest issues, making sure everybody's in their right place. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle.
Big is an understatement. The train is a whopping 30 carriages long. The motor rail, a crew car, and a power van are at the front. 16 accommodation cars are spread throughout, with 3 restaurant carriages and 2 lounge cars to relax in. At the back of the train is the luggage car and a second power van, so there's no shortage of electricity. This 775-meter train is longer than 7 pro-American football fields.
So there are 2 different categories or classes on the Indian Pacific. There's gold class and platinum, and this is one of the platinum rooms, and as you can see, it's really, really nice. The chairs fold down into a bed. There's a full bathroom with shower, and a lot of attention to detail goes into this.
This cabin costs up to 4,500 Canadian dollars per person. And for a few hundred more, passengers can add a unique piece of cargo.
A cool feature the Indian Pacific offers over other passenger trains is this special wagon. It's called a motor rail, and as you can see, it's designed to haul cars. We've got 8, so it's a full load on today's train.
David Barnett makes sure every car wheel is properly clamped.
Good. Always make sure that the pins are secure, because if the pin's not secure and the train's moving and jerking, the vehicle could just easily smack into the back of the next car. Yeah, these things could be like, a weapon. Could wipe out a whole train.
In November 2017, the motor rail did jump the tracks just outside Perth Station while moving at 10 kilometers an hour. Maintenance crews had the train running again 12 hours later.
Fortunately, lucky that no one got hurt and all the vehicles were still safely clamped down. Once they're all clamped down, we close the gates. The loco will back up, take it, and hook it onto the front of the train.
With nearly a kilometer's worth of carriages being pulled behind, there needs to be some serious muscle up here at the front end to make the Indian Pacific go.
That muscle is a 132-ton beast coming from a fleet of Pacific National Rail locomotives. It's 4.25 meters tall, 2.94 meters wide, and 22 meters long. A turbocharged 16-cylinder engine delivers 4,250 horsepower, which is needed to pull the 1,400-ton luxury hotel across Australia's harshest landscapes. Before any locomotive can depart, drivers must give their engine a complete spot check. Our driver, Paul Lawrence, will have to take care of the train if anything goes wrong.
Got to make sure all the fuel's ready, all the brakes are done, top up any oil, any other provisions that have been used on the way. It's one of the most remote places there are really in the world for the train travel.
Paul's been driving across Australia's remote terrain for nearly a decade. He knows how a journey through the middle of nowhere can wreak havoc on his train.
You do get a lot of variety of animals and different things out there. Bigger animals can tend to do a lot of damage to all the brake pipes and get a lot of air leaks. And if you get a big air leak, you can apply the brakes to the train and they'll have to fix that before they can continue.
In the desert-like outback, temperatures can exceed 40 degrees Celsius.
That's all the condensation that builds up in the air system.
And can drop to 10 degrees the same night. Those wild temperature swings turn air inside the pneumatic brake pipes into water.
Make sure there's no water in the air system, otherwise the brakes won't work properly. This is the compressor, what gives us the air for all the brakes for the train, for the locomotive, make sure we can stop. If we have a compressor fault, we get no more air pumping through the train. Basically, we'll be stranded. We won't be able to go anywhere until it's fixed.
Only with Paul's sign-off can the locomotive report to the station, ready for action.
It looks all good on this locomotive. Should be all good to go.
At East Perth Station, Paul couples his locomotive to the rest of the train.
Did you know how to keep the door open or just lock it up, over?
Leave it open until the duty manager goes through and secures it, mate. Over.
At 7:30 a.m., the check-in desk is open for passengers who are arriving by the busload.
Good morning, how are you today? What name were you booked under?
Attendants have just 90 minutes to check in all 240 passengers and their 4 tons of luggage.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Our train manager, Bruce, has just 25 minutes to run his final checks before we depart.
This is my lockdown sheet. It tells me which hospitality attendant is on which door, so they have to lock and secure it.
Bruce's deputy duty manager, Penny McNamara, performs that final cross-check up the entire length of the train.
And making sure that everything's secure and not going to flap open while we're moving at track speed.
Duty manager, NR29.
NR29, duty manager calls receiving over.
We have a light up here or on the move?
Yeah, we should be right for an on-time departure today. We're just in our final stages of our lockdown. Thanks, over.
And we're off.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard the Indian Pacific.
My 4,352-kilometer journey has begun. From Perth, we're rolling east on a single-track line across the state of Western Australia. After a stop in Kalgoorlie, we'll trek 1,000 kilometers across the isolated Nullarbor Plain. After rounding the Great Australian Bight coastline, we'll make a big stop in Adelaide, before heading into the state of New South Wales to scale the Blue Mountains. We'll arrive at our final destination of Sydney 4 days later.
We're just pulling out of the train station here in Perth, so our trip has begun. I'm so excited. We're going to cross an entire continent, multiple time zones, 16 different natural landscapes. It's going to be epic.
Unless the wild Australian outback gets in our way.
Control, yeah, receive.
I don't know if you're aware, something happening over on the desert the other side of Park.
I've been here 23 years and yeah, this will be the worst one.
Oh, thank you, Samina.
You're welcome.
50 kilometers out of Perth, and the landscape is shifting from coastal bushlands to outback farms. The first onboard meal is lunch. Keeping the food at 5-star quality means chefs are masters of cooking on the move.
Every year, the Indian Pacific serves over 715,000 dishes. They're all made in kitchens like this one. There are 3 of them on this train, and they're made by chefs like Michael. So I can feel the train moving right now. How hard is it to prepare meals when you're in a kitchen that's rocking and rolling?
Yeah, look, man, it's pretty hard.
Like I see right here, these aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, so these are done specifically for safety and for us. So with the train rocking and rolling so much, we're really going to have shields up to protect our plates and crockery so they don't fall onto my head or reset at the back. With the stove top. We're using electricity here because it's going to be too dangerous for us to have an active gas line.
The pressure is on Chef Michael and his crew of cooks to produce fine dining meals from these cramped quarters.
We really want to showcase the environment that we're passing through or the destinations that we're arriving into or where we're leaving from. So the importance of those ingredients being good quality is very high.
Cooking on the Indian Pacific, right?
Food up. Coming out.
Our first scheduled stop is still over 500 kilometers up the line, the gold mining town of Kalgoorlie. Western Australia's gold industry exports $10 billion in gold a year and hires 20,000 people. But in the late 1800s, it was just getting started.
One of the big reasons that the railways exist in this country in the first place is because of gold. When it was discovered here, it prompted a big push for more railways to be built so that miners could get supplies and the gold could be transported all across this huge country.
So the gold rush starts in Kalgoorlie in 1893. It's absolutely massive.
Tim Moore is a Kalgoorlie local and historian who's fascinated by his town's golden past.
They're mining literally walls of gold out of the mines. So gold seams are like 4 foot wide and 8 foot thick. In 1903 was the largest production of 1.5 million ounces of gold in just 1 year.
For 20 years, intense gold fever brought thousands of people to Western Australia from around the world in the hopes of striking it rich.
The problem with Kalgoorlie, it's out in the middle of nowhere. So all you got is really goat tracks leading into this town.
To cope with the growing industry and population, the government had to build up the infrastructure.
The gold rush funds the all rail construction because they're so cashed up. The railway is literally the lifeblood. It shifts goods and services across the country.
3,000 workers risked their lives building the railway through the desert on scorching hot days with no shade and little water.
If the gold rush never happened, you wouldn't have the money to fund building the railway.
For over a century, freight and passenger trains have shared the line that was built by gold.
4,300 odd kilometres from Sydney to Perth, and there's only one track. Passing loops left, right and centre. About roughly every 60 k's two trains can pass, but other than that it's just a single track.
That means that at even the first sign of trouble on the track,
Control, 3 PG1 receiving over.
Yeah, PG1, we've got train authority W62.
Drivers start worrying about delays.
Yeah, PA8, yeah, don't quote me on it. It's just a whisper I heard due to something happening over on the desert the other side of Park.
The traffic control center in Adelaide is monitoring every train on the single track line, including us.
It's single track all the way through to Kalgoorlie, so you have these crossing locations with a main line running through and then a crossing loop to facilitate that. So we're looking to cross the trains as efficiently as we can and get them from one end to the other.
On board the Indian Pacific, traffic control is telling our driver about a cargo train derailment hundreds of kilometers up the line.
Train manager, what? Yeah. We're going to have a bit of a wait here. I think there's something going on the other side of Kalgoorlie, so we're just waiting to find out what's happening.
Yeah, roger, mate.
The disaster ahead forces our train to make an unscheduled stop, just 100 kilometers outside Perth.
We're sitting at Avon Yard. What I know is that we have a westbound freight train, or something is amiss with that train.
As Bruce checks in with traffic control, he knows a derailment on the single-track line could have serious implications for our journey.
So what's happened, Bruce?
There's been a massive derailment up ahead of us. So we're basically here, stopped, waiting.
We've been stopped for quite a while. We weren't sure exactly what was going on, but we just now got word that a train further up the track has derailed.
Just 100 kilometers east of Perth, we're stopped at Avon Yard Station. The derailed freight train is 700 kilometers up the line, near Kunana. The cause of the incident is unknown, but the mangled track clearly means trouble. And the temporary maintenance line is off limits for all non-essential rail traffic, including our Indian Pacific train. With a damaged track blocking the path, our only option is to head back to Perth.
No one hurt, but I mean, this kind of threw us off track in terms of our trip, right?
Yeah, it's just put us completely off the track, and we've just had to turn around and come back to where we started from. That's Perth.
This is not a common occurrence, right?
No, it's not a common occurrence. Yeah. I've been here 23 years, and yeah, this would be the worst one.
Nearly 2 hours later, and we're back in Perth, where 240 Sydney-bound passengers will have to scramble to make new travel plans.
Okay, you've got a lot to do.
All right, thanks, Teddy. Thanks, boys. Right.
While I wait for the line between Perth and Sydney to reopen, I'm getting a closer look at the land the Indian Pacific has to battle on every journey.
Whoa! The train is very difficult out here, and we're getting a close-up look at what it must have been like to lay the rail line here over 100 years ago. Just driving in a 4x4 here is difficult.
Wayne Roberts has been off-roading in this rugged area for over 30 years. He's an expert in the treacherous terrain on the Indian Pacific's route.
What is the land like around here? What's it comprised of? I mean, is it hard rock? Is it mud?
Yeah, look, it's hard rock and mud. You get a lot of cloud here, as you can see. We're going through a lot of clay right now.
What would have been the major difficulties they would have faced laying rail track here, especially all those years ago?
I see in this area here, for example, you've got the mud, so it'll actually be a contrast between mud, some seriously hard rock, and then you've also got the wildlife, which you would have been, you know, amongst straight away, the kangaroo, snakes, and so on.
Not only that, the Avon River is flood-prone, so the railway was built inland and raised to keep the trains dry.
If you had a choice of building a railway line here and you didn't have to build it here, I probably wouldn't have built it here. It's kind of a bit difficult to get around on. But in saying that, the tracks have held up.
It takes a week to clear the debris from the derailment. I'm back in Perth.
Morning. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Where Indian Pacific crews are prepping the next journey.
We're gonna give this another crack and hopefully fewer complications this time. We're ready to go to cross the desert all the way to Sydney.
Receiving, John.
Yeah, Damien, I'm just about to lock and secure car eyes door, and we should be right for a 10 o'clock departure, over.
We're back on our 4,300 kilometer journey from Perth to Sydney.
Look, they even gave me a glass of champagne to start my journey. It's a good trip already.
After an hour, we're through Avon Yard, and the train picks up speed from 80 to 110 kilometers per hour. We're on track to reach the mining town of Kalgoorlie, 600 kilometers from Perth at 9 p.m. tonight. As guests enjoy an elegant supper, Chef Michael is struggling to keep up in his kitchen.
Just checking the Wagyu Brazola, because we've had a little bit of an issue with the maintenance of these fridges, so the temperature wasn't looking exactly where we wanted it. The important thing at this moment in time is that I don't get any high rise of temperature.
If the fridge fails, we're still 2,000 kilometers and 36 hours from Adelaide, where any spoiled food, broken parts, or even the entire carriage can be replaced. Colin Dow is the Indian Pacific's onboard train technician.
Still running. Still got power there.
At 9 p.m., we arrive in Kalgoorlie. While passengers step out to explore the town's mining past,
Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Colin's top priority is solving the kitchen's refrigeration problem before we leave in 4 hours' time.
I've come under here to find where the source was coming from. That was tripping the breaker, and I've actually found it. And I believe it to be the solenoid is sticking. The solenoid actually releases the gas to keep the fridge cool, lets the gas go through. I don't have a replacement for it.
Colin cleans the solenoid and makes some adjustments.
Keep our fingers crossed that it stays working until we get back to Adelaide. It's holding at the moment, so that's the main thing.
We're back on our way. And after an overnight trip from Kalgoorlie, we'll wake up in the desolate Nullarbor Plain, where herds of animals can stop trains in their tracks. After leaving Kalgoorlie last night, we slept through a 412-kilometer ride to wake up for breakfast in Rawlinna, a tiny town 1,010 kilometers east of Perth.
Good morning. Just your wake-up call.
Has been issued to train number 7 MP5 to take the crossing loop. Thank you very much.
Train driver Lance Littlewood is scheduled to pull the Indian Pacific onto Rawlinna's passing loop so freight trains can go by. Duty manager Damien Rawlings prepares for passengers to step out.
NR26, you can red light there.
Rawlinna Station used to operate as a mail outpost where trains delivered goods for farming communities.
So we're in Rawlinna, and where we are, about 12 kilometres away, is one of the largest sheep stations in Australia, and they at one time 60,000 sheep. So it's a lot of sheep shorn there.
With so many sheep spread over 1 million hectares of land, flocks are often herded using helicopters.
This is one of the first opportunities where the guests actually get out for a bit of a leg stretch. There's egg and bacon sliders.
Thanks.
Tea and coffee, and just a fantastic way to just experience just a remote place.
What do you think of seeing the country from this train?
It's been quite exciting. You see a lot.
Is you get to stay in the same hotel more than one night.
Yeah.
And the fact that everything is done for you, and the train is especially delightful for that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Another 3 metres NR26.
It's okay, Brett. We've departed Rawlinna at 0803.
From Rawlinna, Lance Littlewood and his driving partner, Cole Seaton, will take us almost 500 kilometers to the town of Cook. Combined, Lance and Cole have been driving trains for more than half a century and have crossed Australia thousands of times.
One of the challenges of the job is the fatigue angle. It's not for everybody.
Because it's a 12-hour shift, between here, Cook and Kalgoorlie, you've got to have a 2-man crew. So 12 hours, we'll work roughly quarter each. Some bloke's been working out here for over 30 years. Done the same trip through here. It's a great job. I love what I do. It's, probably until I retire.
They're taking us across the desolate Nullarbor Plain, a flat, treeless desert 1,100 kilometers from west to east. The Nullarbor boasts the longest straight stretch of railway track on Earth at 478 kilometers long.
Got one curve all the way to Cook.
Here, the Indian Pacific hits its top speed of 115 kilometers an hour, and drivers need to stay alert. The last place you want to have an accident is hundreds of kilometers from help.
That's right. If you come off, we come off here, we're stuck. We're stuck off here for 12 hours. That's the worst thing. Derailments.
One major cause of derailments are the herds of wild animals and livestock that cross the tracks in the middle of nowhere.
Go over, you pig bastard. I was just waiting for that big one to get across. It didn't really want it to go. Got cows, kangaroos, emus, mainly the camels. If you hit one of them, you can do damage to the front. Camels are heavy, they'll smash your windscreen, derail, lift up carriages. They're a real problem for you.
Another problem for trains at top speed are damaged tracks. Up the line beyond the Nullarbor,
there we go. They can be, if we don't keep a watch out, they cross in front of you.
teams of track technicians travel across hundreds of kilometers of railway every day. They're visually inspecting the rails for cracks, chips, and kinks.
If we're driving along a straight like this and you can see like a snake in the track, and if it's not safe, we'll have to get out, get an excavator out here, line it, tamp it, make sure it's all safe before we let a train pass over it.
As you can see, the defect's there. It's got a crack down through the rail. It needs to be replaced.
The damaged tracks are reported before maintenance crews are dispatched.
The machine you see here is a tamper. As you can see, it's lifting the track, it's lining the track from side to side, and it's packing the ballast underneath the sleepers.
Technician James Croak specializes in track leveling and realignment. The tamping machine has a sidekick that keeps it in line.
Well, what we've got here, this is our laser gun. It's held in place by the cradle. It's as simple as sighting in the laser to the laser receiver on the machine.
From 400 meters up the track, the laser is beamed from the trolley onto a receiver at the front of the tamping machine. The machine locks onto the laser beam and follows it as a guide for how high to lift the tracks, bringing them to proper alignment.
Yeah, the machine's locked into the laser beam there, and it's going to pull 400 metres of track perfectly straight. This machine's capable of about 700 metres an hour, and this machine does the work that used to take 100 men. After fulfilling Train Authority W42, proceed to cook.
By 11 a.m., the temperature outside is already over 40 degrees Celsius. In this heat, a power or air conditioning failure could make life on board the train unbearable, or even deadly.
Air conditioning draws the most power when we go through the Nullarbor.
The Indian Pacific's onboard technician, Colin Dow, keeps close tabs on both power vans. Each van runs 3 108-kilowatt generators. Combined, they produce enough electricity to run 22 houses.
It's very vital that they run 100%, so it supplies power to most of the carriages on this train. I check the oil every day, and this is good at the moment. It's at the right level.
Well, up ahead after here is forest. There's no shops in forest, so we'll have to stop and unload it on the south side.
Forest is just a small airstrip, the train station, and a bed and breakfast, all run by the town's 2 permanent residents. For Ilsa Jones and Lee Gilmore, the closest supermarket is a 1,100-kilometer round trip.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm Lee.
Good, Teddy.
Hello, Ilsa.
Great to meet you. So this is Forest.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We're almost halfway across Australia now, in the middle of the Nullarbor.
And you two are the only residents of Forest, right?
That's right.
Yeah, full time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Population 2.
Population 2. What's the delivery that they're going to offload today?
There's some chemist stuff. There's the mailbag, obviously.
Yeah, there's beer too, right?
Yeah.
Is the Indian Pacific the only way that you get the type of stuff you're getting today?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
our
yeah.
lifeline, basically, to all the supplies that we need it for us.
Yeah,
you know.
if we were cut off from here, you know, then we couldn't run the business, you couldn't run the accommodation. It'd be hard to get all the necessary supplies to repair stuff. So the Indian Pacific's that.
All right, well, we got to get back on the train.
Lovely to meet you.
Yeah,
Been a
you
pleasure.
too. Yeah,
All right,
you
have a good
too.
one.
How's it going?
Hey, good yourself. How you going? Here's a little light one.
Yeah, nice wet one.
All right then, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, cheers.
Have a good one. Cheers.
See ya.
From here until our next stop in Cook, it's 300 kilometers with no bend in sight. For drivers Lance and Cole, it's lunchtime.
If we feel the need to cook our own food, we have a hot plate, a fridge to store our food, and a fry pan to cook our food on.
For security purposes, the driver's cab is locked down, so there's no access to the train's master chefs.
How would you like your gammon done, Spider? Medium? Culinary delight.
Before Cole can dig in, the train stops for another isolated mail drop.
Sorry, that's everything.
Everything?
That's it.
And a shift change for the drivers.
Lance is the lucky one. He gets to eat my cooking.
Looks very tasty, Cole. You've done a very good job.
No criticism accepted.
There's lunch. Lovely. Oh, that was nice. Now I just got to do the dishes.
Oh, do you?
That's all right.
No such thing as a free lunch.
Not true.
As we race across the Nullarbor, maintenance crews up the line are battling temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius.
Extreme hot weather can get up to 47, 48, which can cause the buckle of the line.
Buckled tracks derail trains, so the team fights the heat with fire.
Just to stop derailments from happening.
More than 1,500 kilometers from Perth, we're approaching the town of Cook, the only scheduled stop across the Nullarbor Plain.
Cook is an essential stop. Take on fuel. Without the fuel, obviously, there wouldn't be enough to get to Port Augusta.
Cook was established as an important rest stop for trains and their passengers. But when the railway changed ownership in 1997, the new owners cut operating costs. Except for vital train services like fuel and water, Cook was shut down. Today, it's a ghost town with a population of 4.
Look at that. It says if you're crook, come to Cook. And crook is actually Australian slang for sick. And it says that because there used to be a big hospital here when this was a thriving area, when it used to be known as Queen City of the Nullarbor. Not today.
After nearly 1,100 kilometers through the scorching heat, Colin, the train tech, gives the Indian Pacific some serious attention.
Looking for the bearing housing temperatures. Let's see what the temperature is, 47 degrees at the moment, but that can lead to possible overheating and it can seize up and cause derailments as well. Yeah, we're looking pretty good at the moment.
At the same time, every water tank is refilled. Once full, the Indian Pacific carries 22 tons of water.
All the wagons will be watered, and we've also taken water on here on the loco.
Every week, 120,000 liters of fresh water is shipped into Cook by cargo train and stored in silos ready for the Indian Pacific. Finally, the 12,500-liter fuel tank gets topped up.
So I'm putting another 6,000, and that'll get us all the way through to Sydney.
Train manager, train tech Cole, you're receiving, over.
Receiving, over.
Done the wheel bearing inspection and everything's ready to go, over.
Roger, receive that.
From Cook, we're traveling through the night. It's over 15 hours and 1,100 kilometers to Adelaide.
Look at this, the landscape outside has changed dramatically. Look at that, as it opens up, you can see all that green, all those trees. That's because we've come through the Nullarbor Plain now.
We're out of the desert, but temperatures still routinely hit close to 50 degrees Celsius. Up the line, maintenance crews are battling the outback heat.
Get ready. Righto!
Out here, temperature swings expand and contract the rails, causing buckling and cracks in the track. To fill those cracks, the crew uses a technique called continuously welded rail, or CWR.
That involves taking joints out of the track and continuously welding it out. We'll have the molten steel, which is in your pot. This is your molten steel, which will drop into your moulds. So they're preparing that mould. Your pot sits on top, your molten steel drops down in it. It'll mould onto your steel, your rail, and that'll hold it.
With every joint the maintenance crew eliminates, the railway becomes stronger and trains can go faster.
Right, so at the moment, this track speed's 35 k's an hour, and once we finish CWR, adjust it and weld it all out, the track will be up to 60 k's an hour, so that's a big increase. It increases efficiency and it's good for everyone.
Day 3 on the Indian Pacific begins 2,700 kilometers east of Perth, with an early morning arrival in the city of Adelaide. Passengers can step off to grab breakfast in the city, while the Indian Pacific gets its most dramatic overhaul of the trip.
Wayne, who's at the back? Joker, where are you up to?
Adelaide's station warehouse manager, Tony Wall, has been getting ready since dawn.
With the Indian Pacific, it is only a 3-hour turnaround today. Totally got the ticking clock going in the back of the head.
Tony's stocking the train with enough food, drinks, and supplies to get the Indian Pacific to Sydney, then back to Adelaide.
This will be the whole lot. This will be all the food, linen that'll be exchanged throughout the journey. Everything emanates from Adelaide.
While Tony's team provisions the train, Colin checks on the refrigeration system.
It's actually working now at 2.5 degrees.
Then the train gets split in half.
Driver of the Indian Pacific, you're receiving operations.
And both halves are sent to the Adelaide Maintenance Centre for a scrub.
We watch it every week. The appearance on the outside is crucial for our guests, but just as important, we have a number of components underneath the train, which is vitally important also to get clean.
Untreated dirt buildup prevents the components from working at 100% and can add thousands of kilograms in unnecessary weight.
So it's gleaming in the sun now. It's almost ready for departure.
With the sparkling train back at the platform, the final items are loaded. And a familiar face takes control as train manager.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to board the train, folks. Thank you, folks. Teddy, how are you, mate?
Good to see you again, man.
Good, good. Listen, I'm going to make sure we get to where we're going this time, mate.
We've already gotten a lot further than last time. I'm glad you're back with us, though, man.
I'm glad to see you, mate. All aboard, folks! All aboard! Thank you. Let's be having you, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, all passengers on platform 1, please stand well clear behind the yellow line.
Before leaving Adelaide, a second locomotive was added to provide extra horsepower. We'll need it for tomorrow's climb up the Blue Mountains.
After Adelaide, the Indian Pacific's headed into the most remote part of our journey, where there are no roads, no maintenance facilities, and no help if anything goes wrong.
Before we reach our destination, we have to pass through drought-ravaged bushlands that can become tinder in Australia's hot, dry summers. From Adelaide, we're rolling towards Broken Hill Station in the state of New South Wales. Broken Hill's our final stop of the day, where the Indian Pacific takes on its last load of water.
7:30, we'll take it out and head off to Sydney, mate. Easy as.
From here, it's a 1,000-kilometer overnight ride until we reach the Blue Mountains. The highest peak in the Blue Mountains is nearly 1,200 meters above sea level.
Okay, yeah, this is probably part of the steepest plate through the Blue Mountains. Can play havoc in the wet with the locos.
10 kilometers from here, tourists can experience that steepness up close.
The Blue Mountains are the site of numerous cliffs, canyons, waterfalls, and caves spread over 1 million hectares. They're also home to the steepest railway in the world.
This 310-meter-long incline railway started as a trolley for miners to haul coal up the canyon's sharp cliffs. Now it's a scenic attraction run by third-generation owner Anthea Hammond.
The miners never earned much money, so they used to charge the tourists 6p one way back up in the train. Initially, they actually just used the coal skips and lined them with hessian sacks, so they'd pop the tourists in the coal skip and pull them up.
70 years later, 3 carriages carry 84 passengers, so they don't have to climb 1,000 stairs.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, ready to go. Make sure you're holding on.
It is very steep.
Keeping the 15-ton train steady as it drops 200 vertical meters takes some serious muscle.
This is our winch system. We have 2 haul ropes on the winch system itself. Each one of those haul ropes has a braking strain of 57 tons. One rope is more than enough, but we've got the 2 there just in case.
Whoa, is this the steepest part right here?
Yeah, so this is the steepest part we're on now at 52 degrees.
Woo! When tourists take this train, are they really surprised at how steep it is?
They have the face you did.
This is awesome. And there's the valley. What a view. It's amazing to get here on a train, too. Wow, that incline is really something.
Back on the Indian Pacific, we're rolling through the eucalyptus forests that define the Blue Mountains. Eucalyptus tree oil vaporizes, becoming the blue haze that sits above the canopy. The oil and fumes are both extremely flammable.
In addition to the extreme heat, flooding, and wildlife on the tracks, another hurdle the Indian Pacific faces is the constant threat of brush fires.
During hot, dry summers, eucalyptus tree oils can turn the forests into a tinderbox.
I got pretty close to him a couple of times over the years. You can smell the smoke in the train. Once we had to stop to let the bushfire get out of our road before we could go forward. We've stopped for about 4 hours, stand back, let it go, and then once it's clear, and it clears pretty quick, we go through.
By Valley Heights Station, we're entering our final 50-kilometer stretch towards Sydney Central Station.
Let me know if you're going to be 10 minutes early, and I'm sort of only halfway where I need to be.
Yeah, sure are, mate.
We're almost in Sydney, but the hard work isn't done yet. The train platform in Sydney actually isn't long enough to fit the entire length of the Indian Pacific. So train staff have to split the train in half.
The whole train stops 50 meters from the station. The lead locomotive is decoupled from the train, while the secondary locomotive pulls the front 14 carriages to the platform. Then the lead locomotive can back up to pull the rest of the train to a platform nearby. The whole operation takes 40 minutes.
All our guests are off. They've gone Perth to Sydney, but we'll turn it around in a couple of hours' time, take it back to Perth again. Mate, I love trains. I love the journey. I love the guests. I love the trip.
That was an amazing trip through the outback and across this massive, vast country. I'll never forget seeing Australia on the Indian Pacific.